In one of his first significant moves as Sri Lanka's newly elected president, Anura Kumara Dissanayake dissolved the country's parliament and called for snap elections within 1 month. The snap election will be held on the 14th of November. This decision comes just a day after Dissanayake took office, pledging to bring change in Sri Lanka's decades-old rule by political families and revitalize the country's struggling economy.
Sri Lankans woke up on Wednesday to newspaper headlines reporting that just days after winning election, the country's new president had dissolved the legislature. That means a snap parliamentary election will happen November 14th. This is just another massive expenditure, this man says, while this man thinks it's a good move to start afresh. What does President Anura Kumara Dissanayake hope to accomplish with a fresh parliament? And what are the risks for the debt-ridden nation? Dissanayake won Saturday's presidential election with the support of 5.6 million voters, or just over 42%. His nearest rival garnered less than 33% support. The Marxist-leaning leader with no political lineage rode a wave of support as a candidate of change. Change that many felt was desperately needed after Sri Lanka's economic collapse in 2022. He acknowledged in his inaugural speech on Monday that Sri Lankans have a very negative view of politicians. We have a deep understanding that we have a challenging country. Our politics must be cleaner, he said. We will commit ourselves to that. He's promised to cut taxes and free up revenue for public investment. But to deliver on policy, he needs a parliament that reflects his programme, and he's betting a snap election will give him that. The National People's Power Alliance, which includes Dissanayake's JVP party, held just 3 seats in the last parliament. Sri Lanka agreed to a 4-year, $2.9 billion IMF bailout program that has helped boost reserves, stem a fall in its currency, and tame runaway inflation. But the bailout came with strings attached, including austerity measures. Angry voters pinned hopes of a better future on their next leader. In his bid for office, Dissanayake said he wanted to revisit the terms of the IMF bailout. But to pass a budget, he needs parliamentary support. Sri Lanka is in the middle of restructuring about $25 billion in foreign debt. Getting parliamentary backing will strengthen Dissanayake's hands in negotiations with bondholders. Those creditors may be reassured if the new president can clarify his policy. With such a narrow bench in parliament, the new president was unable to staff a full roster of ministers. On Tuesday, Dissanayake unveiled his cabinet pick, and it only has 3 members. One is a first-time lawmaker, now Prime Minister, who will handle 5 portfolios. Another veteran legislator is now Foreign Minister and overseeing 5 other ministries. Key ministries such as Finance, Defence and Energy are all run by Dissanayake himself. The snap general election was widely expected as part of Dissanayake's plan to fix many of the issues that have his hands tied.